From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. A couple weeks ago, the Big 12 meetings down in Texas caused quite a stir. Lots of Sooner fans pretty fed up with the Big 12 and the OU's standing in it. Barry Trammell joins us on the phone. And Barry, you got some good behind-the-scenes information that you ran in a column that appeared in the Tuesday Oklahoman and on News OK about David Boren and his contingent finding out about the Baker Mayfield decision by the faculty reps that they would not institute the Baker Mayfield rule as it's become known now, and sort of the 24 hours that transpired after that initial vote. What did you come to find out about that, and how does it play into this general narrative that's out there among a lot of Sooner fans that they're really fed up, as I said, with being in the Big 12?
Well, it seems pretty clear that Baker Mayfield got eligible for 2017 because of some strong-arm tactics by the Sooners. The truth of the matter is, Oklahoma and Texas have most of the clout in this conference. Used to be Nebraska and A&M shared in that clout, but now it's just pretty much OU and Texas. And OU used some of that clout to push through the revote and get Baker Mayfield eligible for next season. And what I find interesting is people say, oh, that shows you the league. Sooners need to get out of this league. To me, it says this is sort of a league that's advantageous to them. I mean, they're in a league where they can get some things done. It's like being, if you're, it's the classic big fish in a small pond, or big fish in a big pond, or whatever fish, whatever pond. You go to the SEC, you go to the Big Ten, you're not going to have that kind of clout. In the Big 12, Oklahoma has that kind of clout.
Yeah, Barry, I think the general feeling amongst fans is that Texas holds all the power. They've obviously got the Longhorn Network. They've obviously directed a lot of decisions over the years because of the clout that they do have. But it sounds like that this may be sort of a evaluating of where Oklahoma stands. Maybe not right at the top with Texas, but it sure sounds like that's at least how it sounds. I mean, you don't get a revote done in a complete turnaround without having a fairly decent amount of standing, it sounds like.
No, I think that's right. Now, I mean, we've talked about Texas and its influence on this conference. We've been talking about it for years. But really, the only power that Texas has over Oklahoma is just the income from the Longhorn Network. When it comes to the boardroom and able to exert votes, make people see your side, make threats, those kinds of things, I think the Sooners are right there with Texas. And it doesn't make for a necessarily harmonious conference, but the truth is a lot of leagues are this way. I've heard for years and decades Alabama's influence in the SEC, Ohio State in the Big Ten, USC, UCLA in the Pac-12. So this isn't anything really new or different. Just the dynamics have changed in the Big 12 because of the comings and goings. And what you're left with is two schools, Oklahoma and Texas, that have most of the power.
You know, Barry, I'm sure you've probably heard from some fans, as I have on this issue, that would say, if Oklahoma goes somewhere else, maybe the SEC it holds, but surely if they went to any other power conference, the brand of OU football would hold some clout. Do you see that? Do you agree with that? I mean, if they would go to the Pac-12, let's say, or the Big Ten, you mentioned, just how powerful the SEC is. Everybody knows that. But if they would go somewhere else, does that clout carry over? Or is this kind of unique because they've been here, they know the people in the Big 12, the schools in the Big 12 know them? Is it a little bit different because of that?
No, I don't think it would carry over. The brand would have some clout with television networks, with some scheduling things, those kinds of things. They'd make business decisions. But when you go into a boardroom and you're voting and things turn a little political, David Boren, Joe Castiglione, the faculty rep, Kelly Damphouse, whoever it is, they're not going to be able to stand up and say, hey, listen, we're Oklahoma. This is the way we see it. LSU and Auburn and Tennessee and Florida and Georgia are going to say, hey, listen, we invented football. Everybody knows we invented football. and you guys have, you guys have been here 15 minutes. So sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
That's what would happen in a new conference. Now, somebody like Oklahoma is big enough and strong enough that they could fight their way through that. But I can tell you this: in the SEC, if this same thing had happened in the SEC with Baker Mayfield, a similar situation, there's not a revote. I can promise you that.
Yeah, very interesting stuff behind the scenes about that Baker Mayfield vote. You can read Barry's column on newsok.com or in the Tuesday editions of the Oklahoman. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.